Hello, my name is Gwendolyn. Welcome to part 4 of the Who Are You Really series. So, if family can shape me, culture can influence me, pain can distort, and roles can shake, and even my authentic self may need re examining, then where does identity actually become stable? Let me put it this way. If your sense of self is based on approval, achievement, validation, being needed, being attractive, being right all the time, or being chosen by people, because if the foundation is unstable, the whole house shakes every time life changes. This is where faith gives us a much deeper starting point. Identity begins with what God says before the world gets a vote. The first word is, you are chosen. That does not mean you are better than other people. It means your life is not an accident. There is a verse in Jeremiah chapter 1 verse 5 where God says, before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Sit with that for a moment. Before anyone had expectations of you, or anyone misunderstood you, or before you had chance to succeed or fail, God knew you. Being chosen is not arrogance. It is security. It is a quiet confidence that says, I do not have to beg every room to validate my existence. There is also a verse in Psalm 139, verse 16, that says, your eyes saw my unformed body. All the days ordained for me were written in your book before one of them came to be. That does not mean life will always be easy and simple, but it does mean your existence was never random to God. You were known before you were born. You were valued before you could prove anything. And for some people, that truth may have shown up through the name their parents gave them. Maybe your parents chose your name because of a prayer, a promise, a meaning, or moment they could not forget. Maybe they did not know the full weight of it at that time, but God did. A name can carry a whisper of identity. But here is the deeper truth. Even before your parents named you, God knew you. Here is an everyday example. You post something and does not get the response you hope for. A message is left unread. Someone you respect does not invite you into the room. You do not get picked for the opportunity. Suddenly, a small moment starts asking a huge question. Am I invisible? That is what happens when being chosen by people becomes the ground under your feet. But being known and chosen by God means rejection can hurt, but it does not get the final say. So here is a thought-provoking question. How much of your personality is actually a long audition? How much of your overthinking, proving, performing, people-pleasing, explaining, or withdrawing is really the fear that if you are not chosen by people, you have no secure place to stand? Chosen does not mean everyone will see you clearly. It means your identity does not collapse when they do not. The second word is adoption. It says you are adopted. Adoption speaks to belonging. Ephesians chapter 1 verse 5 says, God decided in advance to adopt us through Christ. Imagine being at a table where everyone sits comfortable, but you feel like a guest who might be asked to leave if you say the wrong thing. Some people leave that way emotionally. They are always scanning the room. Am I too much? Am I useful enough? Did I disappoint them? Did I still belong here? Adoption answers that fear with a different reality. Belonging is not a prize for performance. It is a gift received through relationship. That challenges the part of us that believes love must always be earned, maintained, protected, or proven. If your deepest identity is adopted, then you do not have to be like an outsider trying to secure a temporary invitation. You can stop confusing usefulness with belonging. You can stop treating every mistake like an eviction notice. You can stop measuring your worth by whether people keep choosing you or not. Chosen means I do not have to beg for validation. Adopted means I do not have to audition for belonging. This is where the version of you God knows begins. Not with what you can prove, but with what God already knows. You are not becoming valuable because people finally notice you. You are learning to live from the value God placed on you before you had the language to explain it. And when that becomes real, you can enter rooms differently. You can laugh without begging. You can serve without disappearing. You can succeed without making success your identity. You can also fail without becoming a failure. And you can be seen without needing to be celebrated. Or perhaps you can be overlooked without becoming nothing. If this made you pause, do not just write a comment and move on. Take it back to God, your maker. Ask him, what have you written concerning my life? What have I been calling myself that you never called me? And if you want to leave a comment, write, I am returning to the one who knows me. Think of it like this. When a manufacturer creates something, they do not ask the product to explain itself. They already know why it was made, what it can carry, what it should be connected to, and what it should never be used for. And every product, for example, like your iPhone or your Samsung phone, usually comes with a manual. For us, that manual is the Bible, not as only a religious book, but as a place where we return to understand what God says about who we are, why we are here on earth, and how we were designed to live. In the same way, Psalm 139 verse 16 suggests that God is not discovering your life as you go. He already sees the days, the design, the purpose, and the story. So the wisest thing a person can do is to return to the Maker. Open the manual and ask, what is the script you wrote concerning my life? Stay tuned for the last and final session.